Ladies and gents, welcome. Man, am I excited for this one. We've got two big names as far as Titans League is concerned. We've got the fan favorite Slam from Canada over here in the red, Titans League gold. He's looking to possibly make it to platinum for another season. He was platinum way back in season 1, if I'm remembering correctly. I might be wrong on that, actually. I think Slam has maybe just always stayed in gold, but he was really close to making it to plat in the most recent season. He's less active than maybe the past, but he's still such a quality player. Feels like he will never be relegated out of gold, but you never know. Because Overtaken is in his group, and Overtaken, his Titans League history in gold goes as follows. The first season, he got 7 wins and got relegated because it was a really competitive group. No one got relegated with 7 wins in other groups. People stayed alive with 5 wins, right? Then... I can't speak. Season number 2, he got 6 wins and got relegated. And then season 3, he got 7 wins again and got relegated. This guy's been relegated 3 times in a row, but every single time he's gotten crazy amounts of wins and is very strong. So I think this is going to be the season that's Overtaken does not get relegated. He's playing as the Japanese here. The map is cross. He'll dock the north now. And then we also have Slam. He'll probably dock this area, and he's playing as the Malian. So both civs really flexible. Both civs similar in that they have wood savings and are pretty good on water. And many other times, guys, you're going to see players opt for really easy maps for game number 1 so they can get warmed up. Cross is not it. Like, there's a million things happening all the time. You're under immediate pressure or applying immediate pressure. So both of these guys ready to go here. Balancing every single pond, balancing the land army, the fishing ship production, and the TC production is just crazy. So the APM is going to be off the charts for these two. Brundle Guy, what's up? Says, holy shit, you're back on Twitch. Yeah, man. I've been back on Twitch for 14 months, which is a little bit. Welcome back. I've been back for a bit, yes. I did try and announce that everywhere I could and make that clear, but... glad to have another person here. Great question from chat asking what's the difference between Cross and Four Lakes. Well, if history matters to you, Cross was the OG. So this is a community-oriented map. This was created by someone years and years and years ago. So this originated as a tournament map. And then when DE came out, I think Microsoft's really uptight about like using the same name or using someone else's map. So they took the concept and they renamed it and made some minor changes. The main change, I'd say, with Four Lakes is there's a lot more fish. But Cross, you can't just, like, full fish one pond. It's important, but it's not everything. And look at these two. Look how identical their starts are. They pass each other with the scouts. Yeah, both players have docked the, like, northeastern area to start it off. So we'll see how things play out. I would say that Japanese long-term are a bit better in this matchup, but Malians have a lot of bonuses to work with. Where the Japanese really shine in the late game is the Cav Archer line. Cav Archer Halb is a composition Malians would really struggle dealing with. But I wouldn't get your hopes up that we're going to get there, because Cross is oftentimes about what happens in Feudal Age and Castle Age, with everything else happening. Yeah, Crash Test, Tommy. Crazy to think I've been back on Twitch for 14 months, right? It was similar when I went to Facebook. I mean, there were times where the 2 years were like dragging on when I was excited to come back to Twitch. But there were other times where I was like, holy crap, I've been here for a year already? So, you know, there were many things that factored into that decision, obviously, which aren't worth diving into. But like, I had to look at it realistically when I made the decision. I was like, even if I really don't enjoy this, 2 years is gonna be over in the blink of an eye, you know? It wasn't quite the blink of an eye, maybe a couple blinks. But you get my point. Now, big moment here. So Slam scouted this pond, didn't see a dock. Overtaken scouted this pond, didn't see a dock. But look at Slam now. Slam has said if he's not here, he must be to the north. So he is already sending a villager to go to try and dock this pond. Now, watch Overtaken. I just know this is going to happen because they're both so good. Look at that. This is what gets me excited, man. Like, I cannot tell you how excited that makes me. There is very little in actual life that can get me as pumped as someone properly expecting what his opponent's going to do and adapting nicely to it. Now, hold on. We could have a big lame here. There's only one Vil underneath that TC. Overtaken, if he would have gone under there, probably wouldn't have lost his scout and could have killed every single goose. But he didn't want to lose his HP. Let's see if he considers that. Again, there's only one Vil. To either steal them or kill them. Either way. And he tries to take these. And he does adapt with 2 docks on his own pawn to defend. So, Slam's going 2 forward docks. Slam, I think right now that he's got the aggression here. And 2 geese going home. That's not actually the end of the world for Slam. Slam knows that Overtaken's got to be over here. Hasn't seen that Overtaken's dropped the barracks, though. And Overtaken's done a full circle around Slam's base. He'll know that Slam is docked over here. But you could tell Slam's a little bit paranoid here. Dropping those houses, that makes me think that he believes Man-at-Arms could be coming, which is pretty common with the Japanese. But Fire Galley shows up, so this is kind of interesting, right? Slam's going to be like, what? He saw me? But Slam is going to be extremely stubborn here. And I would say it's intentional to have this gap between the docks. You could easily pull your ships back in there. Potentially land a big demo. Look at this already. Overtaken. Getting some hits on Slam's scout. And that's what I mean. You look away for a second and something will happen. And now Overtaken looks away for a second. Fortunately for him, TCs can't hit anything these days. But there could be some pressure coming from the archer range from Overtaken as well. So far, I think this is pretty good for Overtaken. The problem is he's investing Navy into an area to just protect his own fish. But he's Japanese, so it's extremely unlikely that he's going to lose his fishing ships unless he completely loses his water here. And that may end up happening. Overtaken's aggression's all over Slam at the moment. And range units are already going to be coming forward. There's also villagers coming forward. Slam will see the skirm. Remember, they're microing on water at the exact same time. This would be a good moment for Slam to hit a demo. His scout will aim to kill that skirm. Won't get it, actually. Overtaken hasn't spread his ships out here. This could be the demo timing for Slam, but I think Slam's in a bit of a panic, and Overtaken is definitely going to tower that. Overtaken spread his ships out there, gave himself an opportunity. This will be interesting, though. I think it's actually better for Slam if he has patience, but he doesn't know that. And I say that because there's 2 more fires coming, and he has 2 demos. So it's actually better if you wait till your opponent sends more. Slam gets pushed off of gold. Also can't easily take the berries or anything, but he is making skirms. He will head back to this gold. Overtaken scout is active and might see that. And Slam's still just waiting here. Welcome in, everybody. I'm seeing people say hello. I do not have the time to say hello to you. The hello is implied. And there's the demo! Slam lands 2 demos, actually, and now he hops out. Every single ship there from Overtaken is weak now. But Overtaken has his own demos. And Slam might think, oh, I've got him. Let's defend myself. And then he looks back, and it will have very little here. It could have been better for Overtaken. But Overtaken's fish still stay alive. Man, what a messy game. Really feel like if you could find it in yourself to get to another pond and get a couple fishing ships, or even get farms up, in this type of game, it could be really helpful. So far, Overtaken's been the aggressor, and it's paying off. Even the fact that he already has the mill on berries. Slam hasn't done that yet, so Slam can't actually farm. But I might have missed an engagement. Also, hello, Ozone. What's up, dude? This seems like it's tougher for Slam to play, right? Tower's now coming up on the front from Overtaken, who is 10 skirmishers. Crazy how many skirms he's producing. Slam still hasn't killed any fishing ships. These skirms just micro and run away. Fletching's already in for Overtaken as he gets an amazing kill. And the tower will go up, and I don't think Slam has a clue that the tower's on the way up. And if he does, what is he supposed to do about it? Look at Overtaken go, sniping all the skirms as well. Look at the eco balance for Overtaken. Slam could be in big trouble here. And Slam might take out the fishing ships. And he does have a dock in the south to pay attention to as well. That dock's already producing some fish safely over there. So tough to kill the Japanese fishing ships. He didn't even end up getting one, but he still might. You could tell Overtaken's just thinking more about land than anything now. If he loses the fish in the north, it could still be okay because Slam is having a nightmare defending his eco right now. And okay, Slam will kill the fish in the north. Overtaken's just giving it up. But that gives Overtaken time to focus on this skirm raid. He's still got skirms down here on stand ground, by the way. So these vills are getting chipped away at. It's nice that Slam ended up building the mills so he could add farms now, but it feels like he's never going to make it to Castle Age, and Overtaken's aggression's insane here. How did Overtaken click up to Castle Age? This is impressive. Also, super clean eco, right? Like 3 lumber camps, 5 on berries. Slam does dock the left side. Overtaken will see this now, as he wanted a second dock here. But nightmarish situation for Slam. The way to recover in these situations would be to buy food, but he doesn't exactly have the gold income to do that. But he does drop a tower here. Actually, he drops a tower. The tower can help with some kills. Maybe an opportunity for Slam to push this back for a moment. Ooh, also, I'm not entirely sure Overtaken will be okay on the left side. He is Japanese, though. Resources collected, 600 more for Overtaken. Look at the difference with food collected, though. Slam's collected a lot more wood. Overtaken's had more food and more gold. And it's just been so tough. Like, he was the one... I mean, he's now lost his fish, but he was the one who was losing fish. Slam will add fish here now, so Slam will have a crazy fishing ship count. And Overtaken won't really have the food for much when he makes it to Castle Age. The Slam's recovered with the skirm numbers. Slam doesn't know there's a stable here, so one night could put an end to these skirms. And here Slam will take out a fishing ship. Overtaken a little distracted, as you can imagine. Actually, the other fishing ship blocked. Slam's still pressuring on those pawns. Slam is killing the range units here. And honestly, things have stabilized a little bit for the Canadian. Towers, when the knights can't have a lot of upgrades, it could be pretty good for defending. Because the food's an issue for Overtaken, but the villagers have to pull away from the towers for the towers to do much damage here. Slam's very distracted. And I think the ideal unit for him would probably be Gebetto or something, but he might not have the time. Look at all this production in the middle now from Overtaken. Cav Archers is the choice. And back at home, he should be adding those farms. On the left side, though, Slam's still not giving up. Slam is fishing in 3 ponds. The skirms for Slam are still out here to connect with some of these Cav Archers. Now, Slam will have the food eco if he wants to add knights. He actually has... what, 12 fishing ships, right? So armor is something he can afford. Bloodlines is something he can afford. But he doesn't really have the time. And Overtaken's knight was underneath the tower and now comes over here to hit the gold. And you can just tell Slam cannot keep up with this. Amazing play from Overtaken. This is why I've been so hyped about this guy the last couple of years. And this is also why I kind of feel for him. If you watch Titans League in the previous seasons, he was insane. He's the unluckiest player in Titans League history. And also never complained about it, by the way. Never sent any messages saying this is rigged or anything like that. I've had players complain about lesser situations, let me put it that way. It's unfortunate for Slam that he's lost those villagers. I feel like the vills on gold were the key because he needs gold to make knights. But he could sell wood, I guess. He definitely wants to drop a castle here, too. Just don't know. Is that fishing eco going to be good enough for Slam? Looks like he might end up winning the water in the left side. Still has the fish down here. Still has the fish in the north. This is cross for you guys. So much has happened in this game. Villagers on gold. Still exposed. Slam needs his quick walls ready. She might die. Overtaken's pushing now. Slam comes out with the Knights. And armor makes a big difference. Slam is also using what's left of the skirms to take out the CA. There's no monks yet from Overtaken. It was a good play to go for the monastery to convert any Knights, but he didn't get them out yet. And oh man, Overtaken not realizing that he has the gold exposed, and Slam is going to drop a castle before the Cav Archer mass gets too crazy, and Slam is still alive here. What a game. What a crazy game. And before this, someone was saying they really like Arena. Someone was saying they really like Arabia. I get why you like all these maps. But in terms of, like, diversity of gameplay, think of what we've seen here. Spears, skirmishers, towers, siege, monks, Cav Archers, knights. And then, of course, we've seen the fires. We've seen the demos. Now we'll see Gebetto. This is a sick game. I thought Slam was dead, guys. He still might be. That's the crazy thing, eventually. But for now, it's close. 2 TCs for Overtaken. The positive here for Overtaken is Cav Archers are still a really valuable unit to have here. I think it's good in the matchup, but it's especially good if the opponent is going Gebetto now. Where Gebetto shine is if the opponent's on infantry or knights. I think with Cav Archers, it still gets pretty tricky. Not every day that you see the Japanese on 0 fishing ships and still having a good position, but it feels like that is the case right now. And look at Overtaken. First off, snagging that relic, but he'll actually sneak over here to drop a dock. So with 1 fire, he could clear up Slam's fishing eco over here. And Slam took a risk to run over to this gold, thinking he could maybe defend it. Overtaken will see that now. I really think Slam needs to move off of that gold. This is such a big target. Slam still has this gold underneath the TC. I would say try your best to work with this gold for now. Overtaken has this in his sights, guys, and this is going to be really tough for Slam now. I don't know if the Scorpion's enough. Overtaken's micro is just insane. 4 lakes controlled for Slam. He might end up losing 2 of them. This is crazy. The fact that Overtaken's already producing from here and producing from here and going to 3 TC is just absolutely crazy. Oh, Slam counterattacked. Slam killed 7 villagers with those 2 knights. What a great play from Slam. He's been doing a lot of defending. He needed some type of counter damage. The knights were never going to help here. And hold on, the Scorpions land a really big shot. Was that 3 Cav Archers? It might have been 2. As Slam holds the gold. Now he may counterattack with the Gebetto. There's no answer to the knights back here because Overtaken has everything on the front. Wow, dude. Like, how can they do so much? 60 eco for both. What a game. I'm actually going to give a good old salute to the main YouTube channel on this one. Hello, YouTube. So, YouTube, the way this works, there's promotion relegation in Titans League. So, this is Gold League. The top player in each of the 4 groups gets immediately promoted to Platinum for the next season, which is a much bigger prize pool and has the top 24 in the world. So, these players are comprised of 25th through 48th. And there's $20 on the line per each win for players. And then there's also eventual playoffs for players who aren't first in the group to potentially make it. I can explain that more. There will be a full series here. You'll have the full play all 3 in the description. But this game is insane, dude. Look at Overtaken now. He'll dive with knights to snipe those Scorpions. But I don't think he'll deny that TC. And the counter-attacking knights from Slam and the Gebetto from Slam. Slam killed 3 vills here. And now those knights have 9 kills. It's just been so good. Knight actually sticks around to kill the vills now. But the Scorpions are still exposed. And the MVP knights for Slam are going to end up going down. What a game. You could tell the eco has fallen a little bit out of whack here for Overtaken over the last few moments. But he did kill the fish here. For now, it looks like he'll be able to have the left pond, but Slam is making a demo. Ooh, but there's also another dock from Overtaken in the south. Yikes. Lightsaber. That's funny. I like it. Okay, so there's one thing we haven't really talked about yet, and that would be a forward castle from Overtaken. There's still this gold. There's still this gold. I mean, gold is the biggest issue for Slam. I don't know if he has vision on this. He does, but it's still not exactly safe. And Slam's doing his best to raid. But I think if this game can settle down, Overtaken really could end it with a castle in the middle on these stones and golds. Slam's doing the right thing, though. If he would have just sat back to try and defend, he would have lost this game a long time ago. So his counterattacks are key. He'll lose his Scorpion, though. Overtaken could lose his monks. Nah, Overtaken's still in a pretty decent spot. 1, 2, 3, 4 TCs for Overtaken. He will also need gold, but he has TCs defending some of it. And Slam repairing away on that Scorpion. Look at that. There's 2 of them, actually. And just as the score flips, just as Overtaken took the lead, Slam is starting to stabilize it a little bit. Should point out, still no Bloodlines on the Cav Archers, still no Ballistics. But it's understandable because the eco's not necessarily there for that right now for Overtaken. And look at Slam! Look at how strong these Gebettos are versus the low numbers of CA. Beautiful job from Slam. Also, the relics for Overtaken are in the middle. There's stone and gold all over the place here. Whoever controls this middle area will win this. Once Ballistics comes in, that would be when the CA start to feel superior. But I don't know. With a couple Scorpions around, maybe that won't be the case. I love this from Slam. Crazy value with the counterattacks. But also, props to Overtaken for ensuring that Slam doesn't have free fish. He didn't even need to invest in the War Galley. This is fine. Slam doesn't have much more to work with there. Stable is up for Bloodlines if Overtaken wants to do it. Could also snag Husbandry. I think he did get Husbandry, actually. And will this be the end for the Gebetto? It feels like they've been running around on borrowed time here. Now that Ballistics is in, these weak Gebetto will actually get sniped. And Cav Archer mass is up to 19. Slam needs a really big fight in the middle here, I think. It's a full clear from Overtaken in the back. Slam doesn't get much value there. And the Cav Archers now run through again. Slam has an army comp problem. But the Scorps could be key here. Especially with Bloodlines still not being in. Man, this is crazy from Overtaken. He's lost a lot of units to Scorpions, but he just does not care. Snipes the Gebetto. The CA over here on their way. Slam building another TC now. Excuse me. Sorry. This is a lot of casting for the first game, man. I'm doing my best. I definitely feel like this might be the type of game that overwhelms people. Is anyone slightly overwhelmed just because it's like way too much happening? I do feel there's a certain percentage of people that are like, well, this is impressive. But honestly, this is a lot for me to follow. I still hope you appreciate it for what it is. Also, look at Slam's houses all along the edge of the map. That's pretty funny. Overtaken has clicked up to the Imperial Age. Only has 14 Cav Archers. Still doesn't have Vills on stone, but he'll fix that now. And, yeah, he fixes that here as well. So he sends a bunch of villagers over to stone now. I don't know. I think Slam... I mean, he's done a really impressive job staying in this game. I thought he was dead in the early game. But he's got 2 minutes now to take some good engagements. Because without good engagements, I feel he could die to trebuchets. If Overtaken has to build a defensive castle, it's a different situation, though. And Overtaken's Mangonel will get sniped. Scorpion Gebetto controls the middle of this map. Make things really interesting. Slam 79 vills, but it's 110 villagers for Overtaken. Crazy vill production. The difference used to be Slam had lots of fish. He doesn't have it anymore. And the Cav Archers get sniped. You could tell Overtaken's microing over here. Cav Archers are also going down to Scorpions. That's really good for Slam. Because if Overtaken still had this hill, it would be forward castle, it'd be imp, it'd be over. Overtaken might have to build a defensive castle now, which isn't necessarily bad, but it's not what he would have wanted. All those cav archers did go down, by the way. Still feels like Slam can't take this gold. That's a problem. And the cav archers are only going to get stronger once Bracer and Chemistry comes in. And Overtaken, probably the lesser name, right? There's a lot of Slam fans. Type a 1 in chat if you're a big Slam fan. Like, you know, Slam's got the fans. Slam's a classic pro player. He's been around for a very long time. But I said before we hopped into the game, Overtaken might actually be the favorite. Oh, man, this could be... we might get a glimpse of another old player here in Doubt. This looks like a Doubt castle to me. Oh, man, Overtaken. What is happening? All the Scorpions come forward for Slam. He will drop his own castle there. And just now the Cav Archers get Bracer. So now they're Imp upgrades. But it still wasn't the greatest fight ever. And if Slam can click up to Imp, he does have towers on the right. He does have TCs on the left. He does have a castle in the middle now. Maybe Slam could make a switch. And now Slam's on the way to Imp. We will see a defensive castle from Overtaken. The Darcis Slam is my favorite pro. Well, you'll have a lot of fun in Gold League then. I think Slam will be a ton of fun to watch. I love to watch Slam play. And I also think this format is really good for him. A player who has had issues with nerves in the past. I think the play all three is really good. Always feels like you've got a chance. Of course, once you get the playoffs later, it's a bit different, but I think Slam should be one of the favorites in his group. But maybe Overtaken should be. Overtaken's Cav Archer movement has been crazy. Utilizing the mobility perfectly. As Slam is dropping stables now to make a switch, but I'm not seeing crazy amounts of resources for him to work with. And he gets spotted over on the left, so more Vills will die. Overtaking a 30 eco lead. Heavy Cav Archer on the way. Before Bloodlines. Oh, okay. Well, this could be a good opportunity for Overtaken to tower. Uh-oh. He wanted that gold, and the villagers were spotted. Slam snipes the Cav Archers there, but these Cav Archers found even more kills. And Overtaken now also has a Treb onto Slam's castle. And Slam has very little army to work with. And he's had so much idle time. He's been in and out of town centers the whole game. And Heavy Cav Archer does add 10 HP to your Cav Archers, so... He has a little more HP now, Overtaken. He's obviously just forgotten Bloodlines at this stage because it's too fast and too crazy. But I think even without it, it doesn't matter, guys. I think Overtaken will win this game. What a crazy game. Slam will have to wait 90 seconds till he gets Heavy Camel. He won't have a castle. Another castle will come up here from Overtaken. And the GG is called. And that was insane. Like, Slam is a very efficient player. He doesn't have a lot of useless clicks. So there's something to say about that when you look at his APM. He's much faster than that suggests. But, woo! Sheesh! Look how fast Overtaken was, man. I mean, you look at that 94 military actions per minute stat, and you believe it with how he played that. I love that everything he did in Feudal Age. I love the initial defense on water. I love the aggression on land. I loved how he transitioned out of Castle Age. But the thing I'll say about Slam, even in the loss, I feel like he should have been further behind. He did a really good job staying in this. The fact that he got this castle up, the fact that he got those counterattacks really made Overtaken work for this. So, YouTube, assuming this hits the main YouTube channel, I think this is one of the best games we've seen so far. So, there's 2 more games from these guys, guaranteed. All the sets for Titans League that I cast, which is basically a ton of them, will always hit extras, though. So you should definitely subscribe to extras. Or if you want to watch the rest of these games, you could just click the link in the description. It'll take you there. $20 in the bank now for Overtaken. And then 2 more games here to potentially win 3-0 against Slam and get some wins on the board here in the group. But, man, what a fun game. Great way to start it off. All right, game 2 after a little bit of a wait, and here we are on Fortified Clearing, the map that is Arena, but it's not. There's walls on the front, but then it's open on the back side. You have the outer ring where you can use military control, and then you also have the inner area, which has 5 relics, stone and gold. Can be a really tricky map to play, and we have 2 of the very best civs for it. We have Turks for Slam, and then we have Burgundians for Overtaken. Again, to repeat the stakes, it's $20 per win, but you play everyone in your group and play all 3, and then where you are at the conclusion of that determines your future. If you're top of the group, you get immediately promoted to Platinum for the next season, plus you get like $800 or something. Don't quote me on that. I don't have it memorized yet. If you're second in your group, you go to a playoff against third place from another group. And obviously, that's the same if you're third place. You play a second place from another group. You win that series, you also make it to Platinum. So there's 8 promotion spots. But then if you lose in the playoffs, you're still alive in gold the next season. You just come back. If you're 4th place, no playoff, but you stay alive. If you're bottom 2, though, you get relegated. And every single win counts, which is great for no spoilers. I didn't actually do it that way. That wasn't the big reason behind creating this event like this. But as a side benefit, the fact that people don't get spoiled when watching VODs and videos is pretty nice. Because that's a complaint I always have. So, gonna be honest with you guys, I think Overtaken Civilization is a slight step up over Turks. Turks can be unstoppable if played in very specific ways. Slam will have some decisions to make. I think Turks are great if they go all in aggression. Or if they make it to the later stages of the game. Their Cav Archers and Hussars can be super smooth for them. So, but if it's just a straight boom game against the Burgundians, typically you struggle. So that's why, even though your late game's good, you might not want to go full eco against a civ that has such early and cheap eco upgrades. Moses says, outside of the relegation promotion series, do the leagues just play against each other? Or is this the only time they do anything with TTL? So, Moses, you're in a group. I'm not really sure I fully understand your question. But you're in a group of 6, and you play everyone in the group and play all 3. The only time you play someone outside of your group would be playoffs. And the group is balanced based on, like, player strength based on what they've done previously, you know? That applies to, obviously, to gold and also to platinum, so. The players are put into pools. So, like, if you were 4th place last season, there's 4 players who are 4th place, and they're all separate from each other in that case. I know you might have updated it earlier, but I just joined, so I'm asking, how did the visit with the dentist go? The visit with the dentist was great. I have an issue where, I mean, as great as it can be, it's really not fun. I have an issue where the anesthesia doesn't really work for me, or the local anesthetic or whatever. So I had to do the whole thing where they're like, are you numb? I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty numb, but I'll let you know. And then almost immediately I was like, yep, not it. Not it. And then we had to get another shot and wait. It was fine, though, because I just laid in my dentist chair and watched Titans League, which is maybe a little embarrassing, but I don't give a crap. So I was just watching Age of Empires in my dentist chair as my jaw was slowly falling to sleep. And so I got all my work done, and then all the stuff hit me, and then half of my face didn't work for like 2 hours. So I wasn't sure if I could be able to stream. Slam goes for the full walls here. And just gets the walls down. Overtaken's going to be annoying and attack this house. I think the scout has a hill bonus. And Dark Age houses have no armor. So actually, that house will go down pretty quickly. That's super annoying if you're Slam. Overtaken's hoping a villager comes out to repair this. Either way, you take out your opponent's house, or that's idle time for the opponent's vill. And now we have Overtaken actually getting Loom. This doesn't feel like a fast castle to me. This feels like a bit of a feudal age boom from him. Maybe even scouts, honestly. And maybe I'm wrong, actually. He did just add another vill. Maybe he got Loom because Slam Scout was around and he was concerned. He also built farms without horse color, so this isn't your typical Burgundian build, honestly. It's a bit off. Slam is just going to build another house for now. And head over here to repair this. But again, that's huge. Slam should maybe just build palisades behind it. I don't know what you do. This is great. On a map where it's hard to really do any damage to eco, this is fine. They invest wood into it. And it's also the villager time. Villager's all in gold now for Overtaken, and he does click up. But still a weird build to me. This doesn't feel like a build that is as smooth as I've seen before, so... Might end up being pretty good for Slam, right? Because that's the worry for Slam, is that the Burgundian eco can be crazy strong. And wow, Slam's up pretty quick, and Slam's going to try and go up as well. I also don't think Slam is going to be able to execute a perfect fast castle off this. So, both players with some slightly skewed builds, it seems. And now a barracks there from Overtaken. Slam sees that, so... Now, we're doing our best to fix this, but it's actually really, really difficult. But it's usually 2 relics on each of the outsides. And in this case, we actually have all the outer relics in the same area. So players will have to scout that. Occasionally, it's 3 and 1. Usually, it's 2 and 2. It's not something that's really that easy to fix. And it's also not something that's hugely important when there's also 5 relics in the middle. It's pretty clear. So, like, the more relics you have on the map, the less important the balancing of it is. But, again, it is on my list. We're trying to adjust it. And that's true. It is actually balanced in how it's distributed. But, you know, players like to assume. They like to know what's going to be out there and where it's going to be. But for now, Slam hasn't seen anything. He will see the stable. He will see the blacksmith now for Overtaken. Thank you, guys. What's up? Demersh. Hello, Viskman. Welcome. Slam getting Loom. This will be a forward castle from Slam? No way, right? You can't see your opponent has the stable and consider a forward castle. I'm just saying that because he's getting Loom. That would make me think he'll go forward. And both players are on the way to Castle Age at the same time. Same Vil counts. Same amount of idle TC time. 3 seconds from both. Same amount of idle villager time, pretty much. But the Burgundian player has had double bid-X this whole time. So slightly more resources collected because of that, so. This doesn't feel like a fast imp build from Slam. I think if you're going to go fast imp with Turks, it's actually best to skip the castle. Add more Vils in Dark Age. Go for, like, bombard cannons, hand cannons, instead of going Janissary. Slam might have just got Loom because he needed to idle his TC a little bit to save for Castle Age. So that doesn't necessarily confirm he'll go forward. But he will get Light Cap for free. So his scout will go to the middle to check things out. A scout from Overtaken will find 1, 2, 3, and potentially all 4 relics on the way home. And he will aim to wall this up, and this will be scout for relic control. So this is more of the boom, long-term approach from Overtaken. But again, it's not the cleanest build I've ever seen. A couple of these farms will need to be reseeded soon, and only 9 on wood, so this will be great for the scouts. But I have been in situations like this before in this matchup where if your boom's not perfect, you have to, like, invest less into the map control in the middle to recover your boom, and then you might get boomed by gunpowder. I actually played Titans League Silver in, like, Season 1 to try and qualify for golds, and I was 50 Vils ahead, but I died to all-in gunpowder and monk. It was painful, painful memory. Actually, both the games that I lost, we had a fast castle organ gun YOLO play from the old organ guns on Golden Swamp, and then I also lost to Turks here, so. Credit to my opponent, though. He had a really good build. And he got me. Husbandry's in right now for Overtaken, so he might be able to kill this scout. Those stable upgrades are cheaper for Burgundian, so other civs might not rush Husbandry there. And let's see if Overtaken will notice it. Slam probably wants to complete his castle. Yeah. Overtaken realized what Slam was going to do there. Nice stuff. Actually, a lot of players will try and build their castle as an extension of their wall, but I think that tree blocked it. Like, if your castle went 4 tiles further out, you could then take this gold, right? But that stupid tree, it just says dead, was in the way, and it would have been a little too risky there. Yeah, it's standard to build a castle in your base when you know your opponent has the scout control. And Slam saw the stable, so great scouting from him to recognize that. Overtaken will drop TC number 2, but Lycav don't really do a great job at killing Janissaries. These units are really strong. They're slow, but the mobility doesn't actually add much for the Lycav in the middle. And the lack of mobility for the Janissaries isn't an issue in the middle because there's just less space. I want to see Slam stay on 1 TC here. I think he should fight the urge to go for a second. I think full aggression is the way I've seen Turks have success. Your opponent can't field a unit that can really kill this right now. And if there is a unit for that, it would probably be hard countered by something Turks can do really well. So, if Overtaken were to try skirms, whatever. Slam's got a bunch on gold. He can make mangonels. Or eventually bombard cannons. Or Lightcav. The Lightcav upgrade's free, right? And Overtaken's expecting this aggression. And he's going to try and utilize the outside, it seems. But his boom is definitely off. I don't know if he'll win. But this is a really nice home map choice from Slam. Because you can tell Overtaken... I mean, maybe I'm being a little judgmental. Overtaken's doing a fantastic job. The Stonewall is actually going to be really important. But at least the town centers aren't up quite as fast as it could have been. Overtaken, though, he knows those relics are in the north. So if he doesn't have the relics in the middle, that's fine. He could still get 4. The Slam is just spending time getting relics. If you were to add a second TC, this would be the moment. And honestly, I know I said before he shouldn't. At this point, it seems pretty natural to drop TC number 2. But this would be the decision. You either invest that wood into siege to pressure or into a TC from here. Overtaken could maybe do an attack on the outside. Check this out. Overtaken with the big brain secondary wall. He's going to be completely fine against this. Slam is making petards now to bust through the wall. Slam thinks he's got him right where he wants him. Ooh, and Overtaken actually converted a villager with that monk. Very annoying. And Slam, you can't attack that with 1 vill, dude, because the vill will just get healed up by the monk. If Overtaken realizes... He might actually open that eventually, but yeah, he'll kill Slam's vill because the monk is healing. That's annoying for Slam. Here come the petards. The scouts for Overtaken are elsewhere, but Slam has to respect they could be here. And, oh, the Lightcap from Slam comes back. And now the monk goes down. And Slam was fine. Slam knew that was all part of his plan. Petards will go through the wall? At least I think so. I think Slam spotted the secondary layer and is actually waiting. So he's saving that petard, and he's going to take this piece of wall out with his Janissaries. That's really smart from Slam. That's super smart, because now he could repeat the same step, and he could actually be in. I love the wall from Overtaken. He was definitely understanding how this would go. But now there's another petard here, and the panic is going to set in for Overtaken. Slam still 1 TC. Also dropped houses up here so the scouts can't break through. And we have a 4th TC from Overtaken. So crazy eco for him. It's all on the outside. But here comes Slam with villagers. Yeah, this is like not exactly how I died. But this is what happened to me. I'm getting the flashbacks now. Because like the best way to stop this is to start it. Is to stop it before it starts, which you can't really do. Because Slam's played it perfectly. And then, If you outboom the opponent, he can just fast imp. And, I mean, Overtaken's been waiting. I think he wants his own castle so he can make Custilier, so he can be up to the next stage, so he can treb that down. But the petard from Slam! Guys, this is so sick. The fact that Slam has made so much progress through these walls is just not normal. Well played from Overtaken, though, to defend this. Now, these Janissaries are going to be through, but the castle's going to be up. Slam needs to back up, I think. If he goes through, he might never make it back. Now, he's too far now. He's got to commit. The Slam is on the way to imp, though. So this castles will take out Overtaken's TC. The Janissaries can move around and harass. And now Overtaken knows the Slam is likely up to imp. So he's doing his best to balance his eco to click up as well. Perfect gameplay from Slam. This is precisely how the Turks have to be played in this matchup. Maybe as perfect as it gets, honestly. He didn't lose any monks. He only produced like 2 monks this game. Maybe he did lose a monk because I think he had another one. Overtaken knew what was coming, and Slam still made it through 3 layers of defense, essentially. And chemistry comes in immediately when Turks are an imp. So he can make bombard cannons immediately. I think Overtaken, he's had the right idea here. But he'll likely lose the middle of his base. He's going to need full stone walls on both sections here to somehow survive from this. And it's too late over here. He has to drop another castle. And back when I died to this, the Janissaries had 8 range. Soon after they nerfed that. And they nerfed the organ guns. It was awful timing for me in terms of the balance. But like, you could tell it was a good nerf. In AOC, so for years and years and years and years, the Janissaries had 8 range in castle. And they're still extremely strong with 7. You have to get elite now to get the 8 range. I'm not really certain you need the second TC now, because it's still army or bust. So I could see why Slam would maybe consider that, but that food is still going to get spent pretty quickly on Janissaries. So I personally still like the 1 TC. Extra vills don't do anything for you at this point. It's all about killing your opponent's vills. It's also a little bit more simplistic to stay on the 1 TC. But I could see the argument. TC down for Overtaken soon. His castle will fall as well. He is getting bodkin, so maybe he's thinking skirms. I would have loved to see Overtaken try something messy over here, like a castle drop, tower, siege. Anything to make Slam's life a little bit more difficult at home. What can Overtaken do? He's collected 800 more resources, but Slam has destroyed 1,700 value. And Slam still has 4,500 value and army on the field. It's like everything Slam makes is doing something immediately. The monks immediately got the relics. The Janissaries were immediately finding kills. The Trebs and bombard cannons are taking out building after building. Overtaken will still fight here. He's still doing his best to rat it out on the outside. He'll know his opponent has weaker eco than him. Now, Slam has a choice to make. Does he go to the left or does he go to the right? I actually want Slam to stonewall the outside. I think the only way you lose is if you get pushed on the outside now with anything of substance. So I think the key, stonewall there. Both sides do not allow anything through. Unit was just converted there. And Overtaken made a couple Custilier here. They have the charge attack, so especially if they hit different targets, they should be able to kill this off pretty quickly. Nice clear up there for Overtaken. That's what he needs. But there's 29 other units here. And Slam is also going to steal one of those relics. And Slam took out another TC. Slam is now moving to this castle. There's just no time for Overtaken. You just can't field enough army to deal with this. Also would really like to see Slam maybe snag armor for his units. It's not a unit that benefits that much from armor. But when you have this many, it feels like a couple armor upgrades could be good. Slam's just gone for pure numbers, though. 36. And he does send some support home, so those scouts won't get through. Beautiful play from Slam. Yeah, I mean, both of these players are playing so freaking good. There's also Vivi and Sobek in this group. Lucho, who's an amazing player, just promoted from Silver. I mean, Overtaken trying what he can. I give him props. There's this eco that's still safe. That's what he's hoping will do something for him. And he's also unpacked this Treb. And he's doing what he can to snipe those cannons. The thing is, though, the cannons aren't really needed to take out the castle anymore. And Slam knows exactly what's up. And Slam says, not today, bro. My Bombard Cannon will survive. Another relic available for Slam. So he could get 7 now. He's got 40 Janissaries. This is crazy. And Treb exposed now for Overtaken. And that Treb will get sniped, and the GG's called. That was just a perfect game from Slam. Holy crap. The way you stop that is you outboom it and you wall it out. He made double layer wall with a bunch of houses, then the triple layer wall with the houses. Slam's petards were great. I want to go back to that real quick. Slam might have still won this game anyways, but I want to go back to that moment because that is so rare. Typically what happens is a player with 2 petards clicks the petards on the wall, clicks the units next to the wall, and then does, focuses on other things. But watch this adjustment from Slam. So he moves forward. He sees this. And initially, you could tell he clicked that wall. And then he's like, you know what? Let's save that petard for a second. Because the wall's already pretty weak. And then he makes it through. And then he can repeat the same process here. And Overtaken saw the petard, so he's immediately panicking. I mean, the castle drop timing was clutch. Obviously, if you watched, he gets through this house with the Janissaries, still saving the petard. Then he puts Overtaken under immediate pressure. Like, that's just... It could have been a bit slower there. He might not have gotten in with these Janissaries, so maybe Overtaken could have had better eco. That was amazing from Slam. Yeah, absolutely textbook on how you want to play Turks on this map. Scores 1-1. That was Slam's home map, and now Overtaken has a home map. Actually, I want to show Res Collected. Because Res Collected should be great for Overtaken, but he collected more wood. I guess Slam's eco balance was fantastic. The 2k gold from relics was great, and then he had a bunch of vills on gold, right? Which, he's Turks, so he also mines gold faster. Game number 3, and I'm a little surprised that Slam hasn't gone for the Chinese here. He picked Chinese as his number 1 civilization, so looks like he won't play with that this round. But he does go Gurjaras, which are a fantastic civ on this. The map is Acropolis. And one more game to be played. And Gurjaras will load the sheep up into the mill. We see a lot of Cav civilizations on this map, so I think Slam thought, what better civ than go Gurjaras to play into camels against those knights. Now, Overtaken picked Persians, so the thinking's probably knights, maybe Cav archers, but when you're up against Gurjaras, you might want a few more spearmen on the field. See how this goes. There is also water in the middle, so we added this for a little bit of spice, because there's always been this pond in the middle on Acropolis, but it's just been barren. There's been no fish. So we decided to add the water for TTL4 Acropolis, and we've seen at least one game where someone built a dock in the middle. I know someone else played Japanese. I think Mihai played Japanese today against Prisma, but I didn't watch the game. Maybe someone can tell me if he went for the dock. But it is somewhat hybrid, but going for the dock in the middle is not something that I was expecting a ton of, because it's only 2 deep fish, but here comes Overtaken. He's going to do it. So, Overtaken, Persian's good hybrid civ, also good land civ. He'll take advantage of both, and there he goes with the dock. Lightson says Lewis was very upset about the fish edition. Well, let me guess. He didn't know his opponent docked until when he was actually in the event. And he assumed that someone wouldn't do it. And then got surprised and then lost. Or did they both dock? I don't know. I could see why people might not want it there, but you got to remember, The idea is to spice things up a little bit with the maps. Not be too crazy. And add a little bit more adaptation and practice for the players. So that was the idea behind it. Ah, so Mihai didn't actually dock with Japanese. Okay. Interesting. I'll have to watch back those games. But that series was crazy. Mihai's, at least I think, the favorite in the group. And, hold on a second here. There's a pause, so I'm double checking. Doesn't seem like there's any bugs. Doesn't look like players didn't scout their boar or something and are asking an admin if they have their boars, so I think we can carry on. But yeah, Prisma was a promoted player up against Mihai earlier today, and Prisma won 2 games. 1-2-1 there, so that's pretty sick. Lightson says he didn't know about the fish until 2 hours before or something. Let's just say Lix was more committed to the dock. Okay, I'll rewatch the games. But I think Lewis snagged a win in his series against Lix, which is good. And there'll be plenty of rounds for Lewis. I think what you really want to avoid in TTL is getting swept. If you lose the series, it's okay. But essentially, in terms of survival, I feel like you have to aim to get at least 1 win in each series. That's how you have to look at it. So there's 2 deep fish that have 225 food. So it's actually specific to the type of fish. So salmon is 225 food. I think perch is 225 food. I don't have them all memorized, but I know that marlin, for example, or like dolphins are... I think dolphins might also be 350. I forget. But, yeah, 2 fishing ships there. Slam. Did he see that? Hold up. We have to back up for a second. That's pretty important. Ooh. See, again, it's like, what's the preparation going to be like? I think come week 2, this will always be on people's minds. But if you haven't practiced, if you haven't looked at it, if you haven't thought about it, you might just assume there's no fish there. And the thing about Slam is he doesn't play the game as actively these days. I don't know if he's watching other sets. So that could be a pretty big deal. Now, what would you do against it? You'd probably have to go forward dock. Honestly, the weakness of the dock build is you're just going to be later to feudal age usually. So that'll be the downside for Overtaken, but he does have that at least. The Slam is up very quickly here. And Slam didn't even lumber camp the bottom wood here, so he's even lumber camped the top. And he'll drop a barracks now. Ovo says, why do you love salmon so much when dolphin is more food? Are you talking about what I like to eat? I mean, my fiance is a marine biologist. I think if I was eating dolphins, that would be a deal breaker. So, I mean, that's not why I don't want to eat dolphin. But that is at least top 3 of reasons why I don't eat dolphin. But in the game, I felt if it was 350 food, that it would be too much. I wanted this to be an option, but these fishing ships are going to run out at some point. The thing is, though, there's still 6 shorefish, so there's still going to be eco there. There's the barracks for Overtaken. But he'll be later to the action because of this build. And Slam will have the scouts out. Slam will also have his camel scout. Slam didn't see the dock. No scouting on that. Found the wood line, though. We'll probably just assume his opponent will go scouts here. It's a bit of a weird situation. Does anyone remember, I think it was a map in a team game tournament. The players are all up on a hill similar to Acropolis in a ring. There's a pond in the middle. And usually the pockets would be the only one that would dock. And the pockets would go scouts. If you say the name, I'll be able to tell you if it's it. It'll come to me maybe. But anyways, it's a situation where like players wouldn't go to golds, but they would fish. But then because the other guy would be fishing, they said, well, maybe I'll go to gold. And then it just snowballed from there. It started with people just fishing and not attacking each other. And then it was like double, triple dock because the other guy's there and they don't want to lose. I think there will be a bit of a meta that develops there. But right now in the first round, see, like here comes Slam. You see what I mean, though? Like Overtaken might need to go to gold to defend his fish. Also, Slam might need to wall his villagers here. He could be in big trouble. Slam is on the wood line. The wood line is walled up. Slam Doesn't have a spearman here. And he will fight off the spearman there from Overtaken. But well played from Overtaken to spot this. And well played from Overtaken. He'll get the villager kill. And he also preemptively made the fire galley. But he didn't go to gold. Slam is actually on gold, so he could eventually make more than that. Slam did not pull out sheep out of that mill. That's something that I still think is worth it for Gurjaris, but a lot of pro players don't do that. Some do. I think it just depends on the player. Slam will be looking for some eco kills in whatever way you can find it right now. I think if Slam waits for the second fire galley, he'll win water, but that'll be expensive. He still needs to wait for the gold mining. Ooh, and here, Slam forces it. Loses 2 scouts, but kills a Vill. I think that's just due to the pressure he's feeling right now. Felt like after losing the Vill and his opponent having fish that he needed to do something. But Slam's eco is rough right now. Yeah, Bubhub, the map I'm thinking of is from Battle of Africa. Correct. So mainly spears on the field for Slam. Seems like his plan is to full wall the hill, but this is kind of awkward. And, you know, the other thing about this is Slam's eco might be struggling because he's setting up to kill the fish like this. Overtaken will have 2 fires as well soon, so nice shot for Overtaken. I think you're okay with losing the fish. I actually think making more than 2 fires here does not make a ton of sense. I think 2 fires, you're fine. You've gotten good value from these fishing ships. It's just shore fish that's left. You want farms from here at the end of the day. Overtaken, really engaging into the spear battle in the middle. Now the fires are out. There's a lot to pay attention to. And now Slam is back onto the wood line. There's no spearman here. And the units for Slam are not attacking. He loses the camel scout. That's awkward for him. Overtaken doing what he can. Might end up losing the fish now. But nice job from him not to lose a villager there. I'm loving the start for Overtaken. This is super smooth. Like, 3 seconds of TC idle time. Slam has had over a minute. 2-to-1 eco KD is completely fine for Overtaken from here. And then Persian TCs work faster, right? So, it's a combination of the TCs working faster. A combination of the build with the dock at the start. But then also Slam has just not been able to keep things running here. Again, I think Slam could have used a sheep or 2 underneath his TC as he was waiting for his farms, but I don't know. It probably wouldn't have changed everything. Look at this army from Overtaken. Such an awkward army for Slam to deal with right now. There's an archer here following up, but it didn't have protection. And now Slam will quick wall, so the army here can't be reinforced. If Slam could take out those spears, he could kill all of this army, but he needs to use the villagers for the spears. Tons of pressure on Slam right now. Oh, he's badly housed, guys. He's about to have 2 minutes of idle time now. And Slam will take the fight. He will clear up most of this. So well played. He's got the army lead now, but his eco has been brutal this game. Look at the idle time. Just 10 seconds of TC idle time behind this for Overtaken. Overtaken's about to click the Castle Age. What crazy balance. And Slam's probably looking at this eco right now thinking, why didn't I pick Chinese? I'm still baffled by that. He picked Chinese first. You have more vills, guaranteed. And if your opponent adds fish, whatever. It's not that big a deal. But Gurjaras, I think he wanted to play with the counter pick to a civ that would play heavy knights, maybe. But to pick Chinese first and not play it and now be in this situation, it always looks pretty brutal. Slam's got some opportunities here, though. Overtaken's up, but Overtaken doesn't have a lot of military. And Overtaken will lose his spear. He'll lose some of his archers here. But it's just enough from Slam. Ah, the micro isn't quite there. Could have easily been 2 archer kills. It's just enough for, well, maybe I should say Overtaken to hold. And Slam has to invest further and further into feudal age here. Archers and scouts is the play. The other thing that surprised me with Slam is taking the top wood. I kind of figured he would take the bottom wood line like Overtaken did. Wall it up. Needs to re-wall that. But having that wood line's nice. I guess he also did take this as well, so... A very nice build from Overtaken. Can Slam beat Castle Age units here? It feels like Knights will be the biggest problem for him. Trying to gain any sense of rhythm in this game right now, Slam. Just can't really seem to find it. Slam hasn't clicked up. Slam has 100 food in the bank. Overtaken makes it to Castle Age at 20 minutes. So Slam needs some real damage here. And this is interesting. Overtaken will see this army. Initially, I thought the army was about to counterattack him. He didn't seem to be too bothered by that. So he started to move forward. Slam comes back, clears it up, though. Good clear up from Slam. But the real army is coming now. It's going to be Cav Archers from Overtaken. So just like game number 1. 3 range Cav Archers. But Overtaken needs to kill this. It's a bit risky from Overtaken to not go for this. That's what Slam's hoping for. Slam might need some towers. The scouts, the archers are here. 2 Cav Archers will spawn here in a sec. The grouping's a little awkward for Overtaken. Slam could get some value. Overtaken could get even better value, though. And this is why I was surprised that Overtaken counterattacked. I thought that maybe he would just clear that up and then he could counterattack. This is giving Slam an opportunity. But Overtaken will have more Cav Archers here. And Cav Archers are out. And Overtaken's through. Both armies happening. Slam. Good engagement considering. Very patient micro here from Slam. And he'll drop a tower. That will protect some wood and gold. Slam will click up to Imp. Or, sorry, he wishes. He'll click up to Castle Age. Sorry, big difference. But a lot of time for Overtaken to mass these Cav Archers, run around. Slam's still 2 minutes away from Castle Age now. I think Overtaken. If he plays it correctly from here, Overtaken. Probably win this series 2-1. What a start from him. Even though he lost the previous game, I was really impressed. Second TC now. He's got 11 Cav Archers. Slam has... The best thing Slam can do is what he's doing right now. Producing camels and feudal, which only the Gujaras can do. And you're just waiting until Castle Age to engage. You toss everything onto gold. You do your best to balance with a market later. But this has been just brutal from Overtaken. It's been perfect. Reminds me of game number 1. Only in game number 1, Slam actually had a chance to stabilize it. Here, I'm not really seeing how he could do that. 2 TCs with Persians for Overtaken. Well, soon 20 Cav Archers before Slam's even in Castle Age. Now, for Slam fans are just going to be looking at the draft frustrated that there was Chinese left on the board here. And I consider myself a Slam fan. But I'm also like, I want players to play their best and to their best potential regardless. So always, it's funny, if he would have won with Gujaras, I would have never thought it was a weakness, but now it feels pretty bad. 56 Vils versus 32. Persians are insane. Persians are so good, but so is Overtaken. He's played it perfectly. Only thing Overtaken's missing is a couple eco upgrades. But when you have 60 Vils, you can miss out on eco upgrades and life is going to be more than fine for you. Slam will mix in some Shravamshas now. Overtaken will fall back. Probably Slam's last chance. Slam will never imagine he's behind by 30 Vils. Maybe think he's behind by like 15 or something based on that score. That was funny. Did you see that Cav Archer just get stuck? They got stuck and then the camels turned around. But even though the Shravamshas are able to soak up some Marrow Fire, I don't think they'll be able to soak up enough arrow fire to deal with this. The Slam doesn't have +2 armor. It's a choke point for the CA. Slam also lacking bloodline, so his units are extra squishy here. And hit and run should be fairly easy for Overtaken. Even dropping the University now to get ballistics. What a build, dude. What a build. TC idle time's rising a little bit, but like, we're 28 minutes into the game. He's about to be at 70 villagers with 30 cav archers with ballistics. After everything that took place in Feudal Age, too. This is crazy. And GG. So, Overtaken starts off Titans League and just reminds everybody how good he is. Slam was in the playoffs last time in Gold. He had a very good showing in Gold Season 3, but it might not necessarily be as big a favorite as we thought. I still think highly of Overtaken. I think Overtaken will be top 3 in the group potentially. But actually, now that I say that, I mean, we'll look at the group in a second. There's also Vivi and Sobek in the group. So my prediction for the top 4 was something like maybe like Vivi, Sobek, Overtaken, and Slam, which would mean they'd all be safe. But yeah, there's going to be some crazy sets in this group. This feels like a big one because I wouldn't say Overtaken or Slam would necessarily be a lock for top 2. So this series will be an important one when we look back. Honestly, just domination from Overtaken. I think Slam didn't know that his opponent docked. He didn't think someone would do that. By the time he realized that, he switched his build and he wasn't fully prepared to do it. And his Feudal Age was just a disaster. He didn't have the food income. 2 minutes of idle time in mid-feudal, which is really rare for him. So maybe he needs to adjust there and go back to the drawing board for the future. But let's take a quick look at the group. We have another series that's about to begin, so I can't spend too much time on this. But since it's early, since people are still getting used to what the groups look like for this season, I'll bring it up. And there is still a series yet to be played in this. If it's played, we might have a situation in this group, but I can't touch on that now. So Sobek won 3-0 earlier today against Lucho. So Sobek is first, Overtaken now second, Slam third, at least for now. And Deeker Vivi have yet to play. But I would say, if I had to predict the group, I would say like Vivi first, Sobek second, and then maybe Overtaken and Slam are fighting for third and fourth, but that might be understating what Lucho and Deeker can do.